but it's major now.
Not major.
So is the first beat tonic with a
C being an odd chord.
Yes.
Let's try to call the whole measure one chord, because that's what we did with the first and second measure. And it probably won't change here, but let's first go with the harmonic rhythm we've set up, which is an entire measure being a chord, if we can.
Diminish 7.
So diminish 7, what would the root be? E, natural, yes? So E natural, if it's a diminished seventh, it goes to a chord built on what note?
F?
F. Goes up a half step.
What key are we in?
B flat minor. So
I just covered that up.
it's Monday. What key are we in on Monday? Was it 7? It's a 7 diminished 7. Now what's in the? It's a 7 diminished 7, but there's a B flat in the bass. So what inversion would that be?
4/3.
4/3. Now it's of something built on an F in the key of B flat minor. 5. So 7 diminished 4/3 of 5. There. Was that so hard? Yes. It's complex. Okay. And it gets worse every measure. Okay, now we're in the next measure.
C, G, B flat.
C, E, G, B flat. That's a dominant 7th sound. C, E, G, B flat. That's the dominant 7th of something built on
In F.
That's a 5 of 5, but there's a 7, and the B flat's in the bass, so what would the inversion be?
2.
Oh, that wasn't so bad. I remember it being a lot worse than that. Okay. Now, next measure. Has anybody noticed anything so far?
B flats in the bass.
B flat's in the bass.
B-flat.
Okay, now look ahead. B flat's always
More
in the
B
bass.
flat.
So if we wanted to, if we
Pedal.
can find a chord and we don't need the B flat, we could call it a pedal.
Pedal.
So it seems to be a pedal, even though we've been able to identify it. But this doesn't make much sense to have the 2 in the bass here and here. Doesn't really make much sense. But we might go back and just say it's all pedal and ignore those 7s.
Well, there's a lot of commonality. I mean,
Okay.
being the second, third beat, almost.
Yes.
But each measure is extremely similar.
Extremely similar. Yes.
Oh, all this chromatic movement.
All this what?
Chromatic movement.
G.
Could it be? Yeah, you remember me telling you something.
Chromaticism thing.
Could it be chromaticism thing? All right, where's the
Chromatic
chromaticism? Look at the first 4 measures. It's not in the bass. The bass is just a B flat being repeated. The melody's moving stepwise or half step. Take a look at the inner parts. You see it?
Half steps in
Yeah.
the tenor / alto.
Yeah, so look at the top note in the left hand. In the first measure, you see it's a D flat. In the next measure, it's an E flat. That's a step up. Next measure, it's an E natural, half step. Next measure, E natural, it's repeated. Next measure is F flat, which is in harmonic with E flat, so it really hasn't changed pitch. The F flat goes down to an E flat. Yes, thanks a lot, Chopin, for spelling it correctly for us. And the E flat pulls down to the E flat. So that line is going. That is chromatic movement. And let's look at the next line. Let's see. Second measure is a B flat in the middle. You see the middle note of the cluster of 3. So second measure is B flat. Third measure B flat. Fourth measure C. Fifth measure D flat to C. And then the bottom line of the second and third beat. F, going to G flat, going to G natural, G natural, G flat, F. See?
Yeah.
So, but you see how it doesn't speak to you until you say,
It's
oh, this
chromatic.
chromaticism, where did it all come from? And then you go, And then you say, he said something about chromaticism. What was it? I remember he said something. I remember thinking, I don't have to write that down. I'll remember that. That's simple.
Chromatic movement with the squiggly line.
So if there are chords that we can say they're a chord, we say they're a chord. But if they're not, if the chords don't make any sense, it's chromatic movement. So far, though, this kind of makes sense. I'd still say we could leave out this 2, we could leave out this 2. We could actually leave out this 4-3 and just say there's a B flat pedal. But let's go on. Second system.
Oh, no, I was looking at that second system.
Second system, first measure. G flat, B flat, D flat, F flat.
It's a G flat, a major triad.
Yes.
So would it be the dominant in the key of C flat?
Could be.
Which would be a Neapolitan
Oh, it's a
second
seventh.
in the
Looks
B.
like a seventh.
Oh no, that's B flat minor, so you can't do the Neapolitan.
Unless it were Neapolitan of, where does the Neapolitan go?
To 5 or to a
No, I mean, just a Neapolitan moves, the root moves where?
half step.
Down a half step.
Yeah.
So if you went down a half step, you'd be on F again.
Yeah.
So we could call it a Neapolitan of 5. The Neapolitan of the dominant.
Okay.
Or we could call it a submediant. Or, as you say, it could be a 5 of, now a flat C would be the Neapolitan. So that would still be 5 of Neapolitan. So we could call it the Neapolitan of the dominant or the dominant of the Neapolitan. Wow, what a versatile chord.
Wow. Okay.
And then second last measure, C flat, E flat, G flat, B flat. Oh, sorry, no C flat.
No
C,
idea.
E flat, G flat.
A dominant 5 or diminished 7.
It's diminished. It's built on
Yeah, minor third.
C and we're in B flat minor.
Oh, 2. Supertonic.
Supertonic, yeah. So it's again, it's a supertonic. And can we get a 7th? Yeah, we could say C, E flat, G flat, B flat,
Yeah.
half diminished 7.
Within the base,
Two,
And it would
yeah.
be in the base would be a 2 half diminished 2. And then last measure we already said was a tonic. So actually, I'm a little disappointed that we found the chromatic movement, but we didn't get to use our squiggly line.
Because we can explain it.
Because we can identify them all as chords. But notice this is a Chopin example. If any of the examples are Chopin or Liszt, you should look for chromatic movement. And I want you to very much remember this. The chromatic movement is hard to see in this because of this papa of the left hand, where you're hitting the bass and you're jumping up to the chord. You have to consider those inner voices as continuing from one inner voice to the next before you see the chromatic. Otherwise, you're just seeing a B flat leap up a 6th or whatever to the next one, and that's not the movement. So you think of them as all going on at the same time. Does everybody understand that? But by all means, whenever there's a lot of chromaticism, go, where's all this chromaticism going? And maybe that will trigger the answer.
So for the 5th measure, we said that was the Neapolitan of the dominant.
Let's see. If the dominant is FAC, then the Neapolitan of the dominant would be built on G flat. So that could be either the Neapolitan of the dominant or the dominant of the Neapolitan, since the Neapolitan would be spelled. You a moment ago said it could be a dominant of
Yeah.
C flat. That would be the Neapolitan here.
Okay.
So it could also be the dominant of the Neapolitan. And either one, since it doesn't go to the Neapolitan or the dominant, either one's fine. But that is how we'd analyze it. It's either the Neapolitan of the dominant or the dominant of the Neapolitan. Amazing how that would work.